Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 2410 Northeast Dexter Avenue in Gresham. We're located on the right side of the home. If you're looking at the face of the house from the street, right side of the house, we have a 3-inch ABS clean out here. We're on the backyard side of the fence. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running, and I'll zero out the camera here and refer to this spot as the point of access. Here we go. Well, looks like we might have somewhat of an offset joint there. We'll take a look at that section when we drain the line out here at the end. Alrighty, here at 34 feet out, line transitions here from 3-inch ABS pipe. Well, it looks like over to 6-inch concrete pipe. And most of the stuff dangling down from the top of the pipe are cobwebs. I'm watching them closely to make sure there's no roots hiding amongst them. And here at 55 feet, we have reached the main lateral out on Dexter Avenue. I'm going to get the line shut off here, let it drain out for a couple minutes before pulling back so we can have a clear view of everything. More than anything, I want to check out that joint that was giving me some trouble getting over the top of. Make sure that doesn't appear to be compromised to the point where it needs to be repaired. Alright, your line is totally drained out now. There's maybe a little bit of water trickling off, but it'll all be drained out by the time we get back to that joint. And the concrete pipe is always the most notorious for getting root intrusions. And I'm very pleased with how this concrete looks. It is a product that does, over time, wear out. You can see that there's little tiny bits of aggregate rock showing through. There's still lots of life left on this line, but if you live long enough, or in the home long enough, concrete does genuinely need to be replaced or updated or sleeved at some point. But my guess is that would be something like 20 years or more down the road. And here's where we got the offset joint. It looks like it's offset here by about a quarter of an inch is all. It's very minimal. And because there's a little standing water here, what that tells you, it's actually, in this circumstance, kind of a good thing that there's a little standing water, because that tells you that the joint is still sealed. It's not allowing the water to escape. But whenever you have a joint like this, it has become offset. It opens it up and makes it much more vulnerable to having roots come through, because it's not a tightly sealed joint. But based on how little debris there is some stuff catching here, not a lot. Whenever you've got something like this, like any line, you want to avoid stuff that shouldn't go down the pipe. Paper towels, grease, any sort of wipe, whether they're flushable or not, feminine hygiene products. Those items tend to hang up in any sewer line, but when you've got a little edge like this on an offset joint, it can tend to cause those things to snag here a little easier. But it's hard to know if this is going to continue to shift or allow roots to come through at some point. I'm going to go locate it and find out where it's at. I'll get it marked in the event that the buyer would like that fixed. It's kind of a tough one at this point because it's not affecting the flow hardly at all. The line is very, very clean, so the line is functioning at this time, without a doubt. But it's possible that could lead to something down the road in the future. It's really hard to say. It might remain just like it is now for 30 or 40 years. Alright, located the camera head. If you're standing at the right side of the home next to the cleanout and looking out towards the right side of the property, the fence line, basically standing at the house looking at Northeast 24th Street, the line actually goes out to the side street, it appears. Where I found it is right up against the I'll try and do this so I'm not changing the perspective. So we're just going to refer to this from looking at the face of the house from the street. I apologize. So the line comes out the right side. It heads straight towards the right side of the property, towards Northeast 24th, and where it's at right now is at the front right corner, almost right up into the corner of the fence. Getting a depth there of around 10 feet deep. No, quite deep, 9-10 feet. I guess my main concern here, because it's right up next to some trees, there is the possibility that roots could come through here at some point. But now the line is drained out a bit more here, and I've kind of sloshed the water out of this spot. You can see the separation more clearly here. It's a very, very slight little edge that's on the pipe here. But anyway, it's not affecting the flow, but it could turn into a root intrusion in the future. It's hard to say that's going to continue to separate more and more. Can't really predict that, but at this time, the sewer line is functioning properly at this time. But that joint there, it's kind of difficult to justify a repair as it's not affecting the flow or the functionality of the line. But keep that in mind that could be an issue in the future. And it's also a possibility, because of the depth, and it's such a small little spot there to actually repair, this would be a good candidate to do a sleeve or a liner on, which is a trenchless repair system. They basically put a sleeve right there at that joint, put epoxy resin in it, hardens, and just like that, it's good to go. And saves a lot of money. But at this time, there's nothing going on there that's affecting the flow of the line.